Welcome to the Stage 7 time trial in the Tour of Switzerland. It's a mountainous time trial that starts in the valley. We climb 8 kilometers to the summit of this climb, a short flat section, and then a descent down into the town of Andermatt. So the profile looks a lot worse than the stage actually is. The climb is 8 kilometers in length, averaging around 7% gradient. So while the climbers should do pretty well today, don't rule out the time trial riders because there's still enough terrain for them to make their mark. So the first time check, David Moncoutier of the Leftovers, sitting at both the time check and the finish, which is a surprise and a great ride by Moncoutier. Cyril Guimard up at the first check, he's 5th place at the moment. As a reminder, the riders start in reverse order of the general classification. So the yellow jersey of Bjarne Riis, he will start last. Some of the riders that are many minutes behind, like Gert-Jan Tunissen, just observing their time trials now. After the drama of the Ardennes Classics, the three-way battle for first place between the consistent first place team La Viclaire, the always thereabout Bianchi Campagnolo, and the recently surging Evian squad has taken center stage in the VeloTour. And based on how the Tour of Switzerland has gone, it's hard to determine exactly how that will shake out post-race. So I imagine the point separation between those three teams, especially La Viclaire and Bianchi Campagnolo, it will be very, very close. And as for the other teams on the leaderboard, outside of Fiat tumbling down the leaderboard, it's hard to know who will rise up into the 4th and 5th positions behind the top 3. So still a lot to be decided, and of course, the 2 remaining classics and the almighty Tour de France will be the final decider in the team competition. We're getting up to the top 10 riders, starting with Frank Schleck, who's 5:26 down on the leaders, and 14th at the first check. And it'll only get worse for him from there because it's all flat or downhill to the finish, which suits the time trial riders in the great descenders. Tommy Prim continues his less than inspiring Tour of Switzerland. Not a great time for him at the check. Caruana, 4th best so far. I think most of the riders behind him will exceed that, including Andy Hampsten. And big Jan Ulrich. He's good at that sort of effort, and he set the new best time at the first time check. Now Jan Ulrich is not a good descender, so he might lose some ground on the way to the finish. Henri Unglad, 16 seconds down on Ulrich's time. Now this will be interesting as Pantani opened up an advantage on the uphill part of the course. The opening few kilometers were flat, but the rest gradually uphill. And it's not so great, he's 1 minute 16 down on Jan Ulrich, so he's not made the difference, but Andy Schleck, 1 second behind Ulrich. That's a great ride, but Ghost of Peterson will be even faster than that. Leader in the King of the Mountains, 15 seconds clear of Jan Ulrich, so he's put a beating on that time. And he's free to fly downhill to the finish. Peterson's time here and at the finish will be tough to beat. Stan Åker's up there, about what we expected from him. And Bjarne Riis. It's a 2-man battle for the yellow jersey, Riis and Peterson, and Riis has lost 4 seconds to Ghost of Peterson at the first check. So still a ways to go downhill to the finish. 6th place Unglad heading home. Ulrich set the best time, and Unglad nearly made up his lost time at the check, so Ulrich's bad descending I think will come back and haunt him in the end. But his time with 39.31 is still the best. What has Pantani managed to do on the second half of the course? Lost a bit more time actually. Andy Schleck 7 seconds back in 3rd place. It's a good ride for him. But Gustav Peterson is going to obliterate all those below him. 27 seconds ahead of Jan Ullrich. We'll see if he's held off Bjarne Riis on the downhill part of the course. It should be very close. Åkers has had a decent performance today. Should still be up around the top 3 overall. 2nd place at the line, 17 seconds back. And Bjarne Riis defending his yellow jersey. He leads by 16 seconds. He's only lost 2 seconds today, so Bjarne Riis has defended his yellow jersey. And Gustav Peterson, he's won the stage, but he's hardly made a dent in the lead of Bjarne Riis. So they will have their final showdown on tomorrow's stage, which coincidentally finishes atop the climb where they had the first time check. So that will be an explosive battle. So they've separated themselves from everybody else. Andy Schleck and Marco Pantani, the 2 great climbers. The course just not quite uphill enough. It was a longer and steeper climb without a downhill. Reckon they could have taken some pretty serious time out of their big rivals. But it wasn't meant to be. And Riis by 13 seconds still leads Bjarne Riis in the general classification. Stan Åkers 3rd place at 27 seconds. Andy Schleck still 4th at 1 minute 18. And Henri Anglade up to 5th place at 2 minutes 23. So Marco Pantani, he's lost time, down into 7th place. He'll have to be very aggressive tomorrow if he's going to think about moving up in the GC. And of course the other pretenders, perhaps some shuffling between places 10 and 15, but not particularly noteworthy. Urs Feuler still leads by 7 points over Bjarne Riis. So Riis could still win the points classification if he wins tomorrow's stage. I think Urs Feuler would be very interested in defending that in the intermediate sprints. No points on offer in the KOM jersey, so Peterson still has the lead. That competition far from over. And Evian still leading in the team competition. So tomorrow's stage 8 will be the last day. Another mountainous stage, and the 2-man battle for yellow will reach its final conclusion.